So welcome to this video. In the last video, I had explained the fundamentals of Three.js, how to set up a Three.js scene, the camera, the renderer, and other subsets of a scene. So today I'm going to explain how we can do a simple operation of removing and adding a cube. And as you can see in my code here, I have a button for adding and removing the cube. So I'm going to explain this short JavaScript cube that also has aspects and subsets of fundamentals of Three.js. So I'm going to dive in direct. So we're going to start with the initial setup of the graphical user interface, and the let width is equals to window dot inner height and window dot inner width. So this height and width capture the current browser window's dimension to set the size of the 3D canvas. And the dat.gui initializes a small interface panel, usually at the top right of your browser or your page or your screen, so that allows you to change variables like camera position, color of the object that you have in your screen. And then we're going to where we create. I think this one is going to bring issues while rendering, so we're going to continue where we create our scene. And the scene, the container for all 3D objects, lights, and cameras. And the ambient light provides a soft global illumination for shadows that aren't pitch black. So here is where we put our ambient light. Remember, these things that have been initialized as variables that will not change throughout our code. And here is the color of the ambient light. And the point light, this one acts as a light bulb or a cast shadow. The cast shadow true is equals to true enables it to create shadows, and the map size settings define how sharp or blurry those shadows will look like. So this one's what I'm talking about. You're going to see it here. And then we have this scene dot add light. This adds lights to our scene. And then we go to the camera. So here is our camera. So we are going to initialize it as a variable that does not change. And then we are going to, the perspective camera mimics the human eye, and objects further away look smaller. And then look at, we have it here, somewhere here, this one. So this points the camera's lens at the center of the world, which is 000. Remember, we are using three planes, x, y, and z. So 000 is the point of origin. And the GUI.add connects the camera's z position to the GUI slider so that you can zoom in and zoom out manually. So that graphical user interface at the right side of your screen, at the right top, is connected to the camera's Z position using the GUI add. Where is it? The GUI dot add, and this enables it to adjust your camera position. So we are going to go to how we made our flow plane. Here it is. Here's the GUI dot add. So the plane geometry is a flat surface. So it has been initialized as a variable that will not change throughout the code. So rotate X, wait, let me, the rotate X here, planes are created vertically by default. So tilt it 90 degrees to make a flow. And then receive shadow. This allows the cubes to cast their shadows onto this surface. So it's going to look realistic. And then now we have the logic of how we are adding our cubes. So this function generates a cube with a random size and a random color. And the cube name assigns a unique ID based on the number of objects in the scene, which is useful for tracking them later when we are removing or adding. And then it gives random positions and spreads the cube across the floor area randomly. Now we go to our functions of removing the cube. So the scene children, these are an array of everything in the scene. They are stored in an array, and this logic identifies the last item added and removes it, and provides it and removes it provided the name has been stored in the array, to avoid accidentally removing the floor or lights. So it removes them based on their names that has been stored in the array. So we go to the responsive rendering. So here we just have the resize. This ensures that your browser window and the 3D scene stretches or shrinks correctly without looking distorted. And then the WebGL1 renderer, this is the engine that draws the 3D data on your 2D screen without your computer graphics, not without using the computer graphics card. So when we are using websites, because this is a 3.js is a JavaScript library that is used to make make graphics, so it uses a WebGL renderer. Then now we have the animation loop. The animation loop is here. So this is the continuous loop that tells the browser every time you are ready to paint a new frame, usually 60 FPS. To run this function, it keeps the visual updated and objects move or change. So here is your 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 animation loop. So I'm going to run this code, and we are going to see what it has for us. So as you can see, here is the add cube button. It adds a lot of cubes on our screen, and it removes. And then you have this is what I was the controller that I was talking about earlier. When we move this, we are going to see our camera moves further or closer based on what we want to see. So I'm going to add a lot of cubes, as we observe that the last cube to be placed on the plane is usually the first one to be removed, as all these cubes have names that are stored in an array. So let me remove the cube that you're going to witness. You see? So this is all I had for you for this video. Thank you for watching this video. I have the first video in this series that was talking about the fundamentals of Three.js, the scene, the camera, the renderer, how we set the camera, how we set the renderer, how we set the scene and everything. And I also have another video coming after this that will be explaining more about this panel. So subscribe to this is a new series, and subscribe, enjoy, and I hope to be improving the qualities of our videos as we move by. Thank you.